Hey, welcome to Tabletop Skirmish Games. I'm Lee, and in this video we'll be unboxing the Start Collecting Demons of Khorne and seeing how we can use them for Warcry with the Warcry Cards and the Agents of Chaos supplement book. In this video, I'll unbox these first and we'll take a look at the contents, and then we'll go through the individual fighter type cards and abilities and just see if there's any updates here in the Agents of Chaos supplement book. So I'll put these to one side and then we'll get cracking opening this. So I'll put links to all of these products in the description below, and there'll be affiliate links, but they're not going to cost you anything extra. In fact, they're going to save you up to 20% with Element Games, and for every sale made through an affiliate link I get a small commission, and that helps me develop the channel, and I really appreciate that support, so thanks so much for that. Right now at Element Games, this is priced at £46.75, and with the RRP at £55, you're saving quite a lot there. You know, just over £8 saving is really great, and you get quite a lot in here. If we look at the different miniatures that are included, these Start Collecting packs are great value. I mean, these Bloodletters would usually be £22.50. The Blood Crushers come in at £60 for a pack with 6, so you're getting half of that pack, so this would be a value of £30. And then this Blood Throne, that retails at £25, so you're getting a total of £77.50 here with the RRP at 55, which is a huge saving already, and then with that extra discount at Element Games, this is a great value set. So let's take a look at the box, and you can see the side really lays out exactly what you're going to get in the box here. We're going to get those 10 Bloodletters, 3 Blood Crushers, and the Blood Throne, and it includes the War Scroll there that we can use for Age of Sigmar, but as this is for Warcry, we're not going to be using that. And then on the other side just gives you a little bit of a closer look at the miniatures. And there we go. And then on the back again, just some variations. We're going to get this banner, and these guys here, you can have them with different weapons, a horn, this other kind of banner thing here, riding up on the sword, which looks awesome. And then we've got the Blood Throne. I doubt we're going to use this Blood Throne, certainly not in Warcry, but whether my son just plays with it or we sell it, I'm not sure yet. So, but I think for the value you get here, it's worth getting, and if we sell it, it could bring the other contents down to maybe around £25–30, which is really great and sets us up certainly for a Warcry Warband. Right, let's get it open and see what's inside. And then once we've done that, we can go through all the cards individually as well. And these are really nice, these Start Collecting sets. We got the Slaves to Darkness, and that was really good. So I'm looking forward to seeing this. And it all comes out in a nice tray. We'll get rid of that box. And there's our bases. And then we're getting loads of sprues, which we like. So tons of plastic there, that's great. Let's just pop that there for a second. And then we get our 3 bases for the Blood Crushers, a large base for the Blood Throne, these will all be for the Bloodletters, and then we've got some different instruction books, as these are taken from different existing sets, so we've got a book for each, and it looks like we can turn this into a skull cannon or the Blood Throne, so that's quite cool. So we can have 2 different builds there, so that's nice. And I wonder if we can make use of the miniatures if we choose different ones. Well, we'll find out in a second. That's our books, and then here this is just going to give us some information. I'm not sure what that's about, but there we go, a nice little flyer in there. So let's get rid of this box. So let's take a look at the different sprues then, and first of all I'll start with the Blood Throne of Khorne, or you can turn this into the Skull Cannon of Khorne. And so we're going to get 3 of this size sprue for this, and then taking a look up close we can see these are really nicely detailed pieces. These torsos are really good, they're really great, the detail on those is nice, and that sword, I like that. And you can see we've got all the different legs and everything, so these are quite big, these miniatures here. And then there's their faces. Yeah, nice swords, they're really good. And that's our main guy there, he's looking awesome with the skulls hanging down, that's really great. And then we've got this double sprue here now. Let's turn it around like that. So tons of detail on these pieces, they're really nice. These cannons have got all little skulls embedded in them. Can you see that? That's really great. I mean, I must admit, I don't know if I even like the look of this Blood Throne of Khorne. My son liked it, and it was his set for Christmas, so he's going to want to play with it, I guess. So that's cool. It'd be nice for him to kind of paint, maybe. Looks pretty challenging, but it'd be fun. I think he'll enjoy it. And there we go. Again, more skulls embedded in. So these are really nice pieces. It's just a shame this wouldn't fit in with Warcry, really. But I suppose you could like mod it and use it as some kind of, almost like a monster, really, in how you fight it. So your warband could go up against this Blood Throne somehow. But there we go. That's the sprue for the Blood Throne of Khorne. Now we'll have a look at the Blood Crushers. I love these. These look really great. And here's our first one. So again, you're going to get 3 this size, 3 sprues this size. They almost look like robots. And I don't know the lore behind the Demons of Khorne, so you probably know a lot more than me about these guys. So I'm learning as I go here. But these look great, really fun, nice detail. And I really like the swords. I think that's my favourite thing so far. These swords look awesome with the skull embedded. Really nice. And then we've got these 2 here, which I wonder, are they repeats? No, they're not repeats. So these are all different, these sprues, so that's nice. And we're getting some different weapons. We're getting this spear here. And then the banner. A different sword, that's really nice. Another sword there, slightly different as well. So you could have 3 riders with swords, or you've got this kind of spear thing here, which I guess attaches to the kind of banner. And I wonder how much variety we're going to get. It seems like we've got a few heads here, so that's nice. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got 5 heads on that sprue, and on the other one we've also got 1 head. So we've got all the heads, we've got lots of heads there, so we can certainly have a little bit of variety getting on. So that's the sprue for our Blood Crushers. And finally we got the sprue for the 10 Bloodletters, and I'm looking forward again to seeing how much variety we're going to get here in the poses. So let's take a quick look here, and there's what's going to be their backs, I suppose. If we spin that round, you can see the front of the torsos. Some nice swords again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on that sprue. Yeah, I really like the swords. And then here we've got all their faces. Are they the same? No, they're slightly different. So we're getting a little bit of variety here. Just let that zoom in on the faces. So that's nice. It's got 10 different ones. There we go. So we've just got 4 weapons, 6 weapons here. And here's the final sprue for those. And we've got another 4 swords and a banner. So yeah, they're all going to have swords. There should be a horn around here somewhere as well. There's the banner. So it's all plain, that banner, just to paint over. And the top of the banner there. There we go, we've got this horn we can use. So we're going to get 10 Bloodletters there. So that's really good. And so we can, with those, we can mix them between Blood Hunters or Blood Reapers, Hornblower or the Icon Bearer. So there we are, that's all the sprues. Now we'll take a look at the instruction books. Let's go through the Bloodletters then. So yeah, we can have a Blood Hunter, Blood Reaper, a Hornblower or an Icon Bearer. They all look pretty mean. And we've got some interchangeable parts here, which is great, so we can put them together how we like. And got all the heads there. These weird things that go at the back of the heads. They're great. I didn't even notice that actually in the artwork on the front. So the heads are quite long. That's great. So nice and simple. Then all the instructions if you want to use them for Age of Sigmar. But we'll just stick with Warcry for those. That's the Bloodletters. Then we've got the Blood Crushers. And so usually this would come in a pack of 6, but we're only getting 3 of these. But we'll have the instructions, it looks like, for all 6. So. And lots of interchangeable parts, so we can customise that. And there was, like I said, there was 6 heads there before, so we can change those heads how we want them. You can have a Hornblower here as well. There we go. So So that's nice and straightforward. And then finally we've got our Demons of Khorne, Blood Throne or Skull Cannon. This is probably going to be a bit more complicated to put together. Lots more parts, bigger model. So lots going on here. I'll just go quickly through this because this isn't really going to apply to the Warcry. But there's our next one. We can make the Skull Cannon instead. So there we are. So that's all the sprues and all the books, and that's everything with the bases that we're going to get in the Start Collecting Demons of Khorne pack. So now let's take a look at the Warcry Blades of Khorne cards, and these are for the Demons of Khorne. I've done a review of these already, so if you want to check them out separately, there's another video on that. But let's go through the abilities and fighter types here and see how this works with the Start Collecting pack. And so with all these card packs you get all the different languages, but we only need English, so we'll stick with that one and we'll put these to one side. And then we're going to get our duplicate cards. We're going to get 2, and if we've got a fighter type card but we've got lots of miniatures that we want to use for that same fighter type, this is where we use these to keep track of their hit damage points and things like that. So those are going to come in handy here, I think, with this warband. And then altogether we get 6 cards, and they're the fighter type cards, and then we'll go through those individually now and we'll just see which ones we can use for that Start Collecting pack. Okay, so let's start with the lowest point model, and that's going to be our Bloodletter here at 70 points. And he's got 1 rune mark here, so he's got an ability he can use. He's got the Warband rune mark, so he's got the Warband ability, and he's got a movement of 4, can take 10 wounds, and he's got a toughness of 3. And then with his weapon here, he's got his sword, so he's got to be up close with a range of 1, can make a nice 4 attacks, strength 3, dealing 1 to 4 on a crit. So that's nice for 70 points. He's got enough damage there, he can take 10, and he's got a nice 4 attacks, dealing 1 to 4 on a crit. So that's really good. But let's check out his abilities now. And here we go. So every member of the warband who's got this rune mark here can use the double, and that's called Blood for the Blood God. A fighter can use this ability only if an enemy fighter has been taken down by an enemy action made by them this activation. This fighter makes a bonus move action or a bonus attack action. Okay, so these guys are fueled if they get a taste of blood, if they take someone down, that fuels them and gets them another move action or another bonus attack action. So that fits the narrative of these guys here. And now let's go on to the next one. So they've got this rune mark here, which is another double called Decapitating Strike. Add half the value of this ability, rounding up, to the damage points allocated by critical hits from the next attack action made by this fighter, this activation, that has a range characteristic of 3 or less. So that's a long sentence, a bit to digest there. You basically want this to be high, so you want double 5s or 6s, and then rounding up, you can add half the value of the ability rounded up. So a 5 or 6 is going to be 3. So as long as the range characteristic less than 3, which it is, it's 1. If they make a critical hit, then that's going to go from 4 to, in this example, of an extra 3 damage points being allocated to the enemy. So that's quite nice on a double there. And with 4 attacks, there's a chance they're going to get a 6 there, nice chance. So that's pretty good, especially if they're already in contact and they make 2 attack rolls. That's really good. So nice 2 abilities there, and for a low point miniature at 70, that's a great start for the Blades of Khorne and for the demons. So I really like that. Next we've got our Blood Reaper, and this is great, 150 points. This is our leader. He's got the leader rune mark here, and he's got the warband and another ability rune mark. And this is also included in the Bloodletters that come with that Start Collecting pack. So that's really good. We can make one of those a leader, so that's really nice. So already we've got potentially at 70 points, we can take 9 of them in, and that's going to be at what, 630? 730, 780, and then we can bring in another one. So we can make use of all those Bloodletters if we wanted to. So that's really cool. But anyway, here's our leader. So 150 points, 3 abilities. He's got a movement of 4, can take 20 wounds, and he's got a toughness 3. His weapon's a sword as well, so he's got to be up close, range of 1, can make 5 attacks, strength 4, 2 to 4 on a crit. So a great leader there, nice 5 attacks. I really like these guys with their swords coming in. I like them a lot better than I thought I would, so that's really nice. And then let's have a look at the abilities. So like the other Bloodletters, he's got the double Blood for the Blood God, double decapitating strike, and now he's got the leader ability, which is a triple called Locus of Fury. A fighter can use this ability only if an enemy fighter has been taken down by an attack action made by them this activation. Until the end of the battle round, add 1 to the attack's characteristic of attack actions that have a range characteristic of 3 or less made by visible friendly fighters while they are within 6 inches of this fighter. So another long sentence, lots to take in, so let's break it down. So just like the other ability, he's got to have taken down an enemy fighter himself during the activation, and then until the end of that battle round he can add 1 to the attack characteristics of attack actions made by other visible friendly fighters that are within 6 inches of this fighter. So you really want to be using this guy first, using him on a model that's taken some wounds, and hopefully he can take them down, and then have that triple ready to give guys within 6 inches of him a lot of extra attacks there. So that could be really useful. A lot has to fall in place for this to work, but it's a really nice ability for a triple. I think this would be a good one to demonstrate on the actual battlefield with some miniatures and lay out like a dummy scenario just to show it in action. I think that'd be cool. I mean, let me know what you think about that, because I was thinking about doing some videos about the different abilities for the different warbands and actually showing them play out, and that's a good way both for me to learn it properly and make sure I'm getting it right, but also good to share, I think. So yeah, let me know if you think that's a good idea. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And that's our Blood Hunter or Blood Reaper, and he's going to be our leader. Now the points are starting to go up a bit more at 170, so we go from 70 to 150 to 170. So there's not many low point ones in this warband, and this beast here is a Flesh Hound at 170 points. It's got a movement 8, can take 20 wounds with a toughness of 4. It's got the rune mark here and here, so 2 abilities. And he's going to be biting and clawing and scratching his way through the enemy with a range 1, 4 attacks, strength 4, dealing 2 to 4 on a crit. So that's really nice there. And let's see what that extra ability is. And again, he's going to get that double blood for the blood god. But here we've got hungry for flesh on a double. A fighter can use this ability only if there is a visible enemy fighter within 6 inches of them. This fighter makes a bonus move action and must finish closer to the closest visible enemy than they were at the start of that move action. Alright, so these kind of pack animals here and beasts, they're going to want to get in close. They're not going to be hanging back. So this makes sense narratively, and this double is going to help them get closer to start dealing some damage. So there we are, that's our third one. Next we've got our Blood Crusher, and this one is included in the start collecting set, so we're going to get this miniature here and we can use that. We're not going to get the Flesh Hound, obviously that's not included, but this one is. So 185 points, we've got 2 abilities and also the mounted rune mark, so that's going to kind of restrict us on a few things, like going through doorways and things like that. But he's got a movement of 6, can take 30 wounds, so that's really high, toughness 4. He's got his sword weapon and he needs to get up close, range of 1, making 4 attacks, strength 4, dealing 2 to 4 on a crit. And let's look at those abilities. So just like all the others, we've got the double blood for the blood god, but with this one here on a triple, it's called Murderous Charge. Until the end of this fighter's activation, the next time this fighter finishes a move action within 1 inch of an enemy fighter, pick a visible enemy fighter within 1 inch of this fighter. Allocate a number of damage points to that fighter equal to the value of this ability. Alright, so we're getting high numbers again in the triple. We just have to get close there within 1 inch of an enemy fighter, and then we can deal some extra damage points. So that's really nice. Again, I think this would be a good one to demo on the battlefield. So I like that. That's great. Fits in with the narrative. We've got a nice mounted beast to play with as well, which is really cool. For 185 points, I think you get quite a lot there and certainly can take some damage. Next we've got our Blood Hunter, and again this guy can be made from the start collecting set, and he's a leader. He's got the leader rune mark and he's got the mounted rune mark and the other 2 here, so he's got 3 abilities and he's mounted. And at 240 points he's got movement 6, can take a nice 35 wounds, toughness 4, range 1, can make 5 attacks, strength 4, dealing 2 to 5 on a crit. So really nice stats here for this guy. And let's check out the abilities, which we've seen already, most of these. in fact all of these. So we got double Blood for the Blood God, the leadership triple Locus of Fire, and the triple Murderous Charge. So there we are, that's another leader option there that we can choose. And again, you could make all three of these models for the Blood Crushers, and then you could sometimes play one as a leader, other times you could have your Bloodletter leader leading the warband. So you've got some options to mix them up. So I guess the models can kind of play for both types of cards, so both of these cards, but you would just have one miniature that kind of looks a little bit different, so you can play him as a leader if you wanted to. But there we are, that's that one. Now we're on to our final fighter type card, and this is the Gore Hound. And now the statistics on this have changed slightly in the recent Agents of Chaos supplement guidebook. So I'll go through this card and the abilities first, and then we'll just take a quick look at the guidebook, and then I'll show you the differences. So if you want to play the up-to-date rules, certainly if you're playing in like matched play and things like that, you're going to need to do that. If you're just playing at home for fun, you could keep to the cards here, but if you want to be true to the updates, then you'll need to know that from that book. But here we go, this one's got 240 points, a movement of 8, can take 30 wounds with a toughness 4. We've got a nice 4 abilities, so you're getting lots here. And again, he's biting, scratching, clawing his way through the enemy with a range 1, 5 attacks, strength 4, dealing 2 to 5 on a crit. So lots happening here. This is nice. It's always nice to get 5 attacks. It's certainly, if you get a turn where you can make 2 attack actions, then that's 10 dice you're rolling, so that's really nice. And dealing 2 to 5 on a crit is great. But let's look at these abilities. So we've got double Blood for the Blood God, the leadership triple Locust of Fury, the double Hungry for Flesh, and now we've got a new one that we haven't seen yet, which is this one, the quad called Burning Roar. Pick a visible enemy fighter within 8 inches of this fighter and roll a number of dice equal to the value of this ability. For each 2+, allocate 2 damage points to that fighter. So this is a huge ability here. If you're getting 4 6s or 4 5s, you can roll 5 or 6 dice, and for every one on a 2+, you're giving 2 more damage points. So the chances are you're going to get lots of 2+, and unless you're unlucky, and then allocate a lot of damage points. So that's great. For 240, this is an awesome one to take in as a leader, and it's such a shame this isn't included in that start collecting pack. But you can certainly buy a pack of these separately, so that's no problem, or you could substitute for some other similar models. But yeah, there we go, that's our final card, and that's all the abilities for the Demons of Khorne. So now let's just take a quick look at the Agents of Chaos Warcry supplement guidebook that came out in December 2020, and if we turn to page 30 and 31, you can see here that we've got the abilities. And I've had a read through, and the abilities all seem to be the same, but check in here for our Gore Hound, which is this guy, and he was coming in at 240 points. I'll just bring it a bit closer so you can see. He was coming in at 240 points before, and so that's now changed. That's gone down to 205. His wounds have gone down to 25 from 30, but the toughness and movement are the same. The abilities remain the same, so we've still got those, which is really good, and also the range, the attack characteristic, the strength, and the number 2 to 5 on a crit damage. That's remained the same as well. So we lose a few points here, but we lose a little bit in how much damage can be taken. So there we are. So that's the update that came in this book as well. And again, I'll put links to this in the description below if you want to pick it up. And I've also done a separate video on these books. I've got one for each of the orders, so you can check out, or each of the alliances, so you can check out all the kind of reviews I've done on those. And these are great books. They're packed with information, and if you're playing a warband in the Chaos Warband, this book's perfect. But also it's got like all the cards you're going to need. So if you've got an existing Age of Sigmar army, you can just pick up this book and you'll be able to play them, and all the rules will be up to date in here at the time I made the video. So there we go, that's the book, and that's everything now: the cards, the book, and the contents of the box. Let me know what you think about the Demons of Khorne and how you think this is going to play as a Warcry Warband. I'm pretty excited to get them built and play with them. This is going to be great fun. They look awesome, and I love the swords and the weapons they come with. And these blood crushers here, they look great as well. So it's going to be good to have some mounted beasts in a warband to play against. Again, I'll put links to everything in the description below so you can check it out at Element Games and get up to 20% discount on all these products here. Thanks so much for watching the video. Please like if you like it, subscribe for more content like this, and don't forget to hit the notification bell to join me next time on Tabletop Skirmish Games.